Hello, welcome back to PlayStation Access. My name's Dave, and I'm joined today by Nath.
Hello.
And we are going to be showing you some gameplay from Frontier, one of the maps from Infinite Warfare, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, no less. We've been at COD XP this week, and we've been having a look and a go at the new multiplayer, which has just been announced. And this is actually the very first game we played in Infinite Warfare.
You're getting your excuses in.
That's
early,
my
okay.
excuse now. I mean, you're going to see that because something is about to happen that will kind of, show just how green I was. This is actually me playing. I don't know if I should admit that. How green I was to everything that was going on. We're playing Frontier, which was billed as the fastest Call of Duty map to date. That's what Infinity Ward said. This is it. This is the first thing I saw a man killed. I watched him float up into the sky. I was sort of like, is that a mistake? And then obviously I remembered, oh no, we're
instantly got
we're
killed.
playing in space. And I watched it and was
I
instantly
like
killed.
that. I paused to look at that when that happened to me as well. And I guess it's because you're on, like we always talk about this, Dave. We just spoke about it in the last video we did a little voiceover for. And that's taking the time to have a look around. You can't in Frontier. There's simply not time, even though it's a beautiful level.
Yes, exactly. And it is a beautiful level. As we've said a million times, the levels are fantastic, but you end up just running around them as fast as possible.
Just bazzing about.
So
what's that? But I did like the 0G thing. It was like you're only on the ground because your suit's active. I like that idea.
I really like that. It's another little kind of just nice thing
Just
when you kill somebody to enjoy as their corpse floating away as well.
Tell me, Dave, what rig are you using in this video?
I'm using the Warfighter rig, which is the sort of standard sort of all-purpose.
Yeah,
the
everyman. They said if you want it to feel like Call of Duty always has, maybe stick on the Warfighter.
Yeah, I think this is it's just a good place to start. So it's sort of a mid-range rig. If you don't know, we should, I guess, briefly explain that a rig is sort of your suit into which you plug a selection of from a selection of traits and payloads.
It's kind of like a class, right?
It's kind of like a class.
It sets you within a certain category, and within that category, you can then choose a payload and a trait, which will further kind of customize your playstyle.
Yeah. But
delineated by the kind of what the rig you're doing is supposed to, what their job is on the team and stuff. So it's kind of class, kind of role based. But I gotta say, they will make a difference if you choose them carefully. But don't worry if you're thinking that it's super class based now. It's not. Like every one that I played all of them, and it still feels very much like you're running around playing Call of Duty.
Yeah, definitely. And, being able to choose, the rigs aren't sort of, because you choose from a choice of payloads and traits that you can put your own stamp on it. You can play, you can, make it work how you want to play. And also you can change rigs mid-game, which is kind of like a big deal, I think. Kind of a new thing.
Do you know what your payload that you've selected for this round is?
I do. I selected Claw.
Okay.
Which is, we will see it at some point. I got him back. Which is like a sort of, I don't know, like a widespread shot weapon, which
the one that ricochets.
Which ricochets, yeah. That's kind of.
So the idea is that it's for clearing out. If you want to get onto a zone or to capture a flag, or like a situation like that, like you've just been into down the stairs, the idea is that it will attack a number of targets and it will give you a widespread and also bounces around corners.
Exactly, yes. So it's good for clearing out corridors, stuff like that. Just going into a door and just pulling the trigger, or not even. Yeah, because of the ricochet, you can sort of fire around corners a little bit with it and try and take out lots of people at once.
Disrupting.
Yeah. So this is like a good little. I had a good spell in this kind of corridor, which I was quite pleased with. I just really do enjoy the people just floating upwards. It's so satisfying.
Do you know, I was going to say, we're being quite honest here because we're showing a whole round and it is our first round as well. And when we
look at that,
I like that he bounced.
Yeah.
He was mid jump. And I think we did consider just cutting out all the good bits, but it's not. I think you get a better sense of the level and us learning the level, you learning the level, and the different. It's kind of a 3-lane business, this, isn't it?
It's got this central lane they described as sort of like a sniper alley, and I guess it is. It's just it's long and straight. There's a bit of cover, and then I think there's sort of like it's like spherical, isn't it? Or circular. The map. It's got 2 other
It's got
lanes
that route
that run around the
basically
outside.
like a one underneath. Yeah, and then
This is me doing really badly with my score streak,
oh mate,
which was a Trinity rocket, and I think it fires rockets. I think on the way down you can fire it, or you fire it sooner, and it sort of it speeds up.
Does that make? Was it going to come through the roof?
Unfortunately I just didn't know, so I thought it was kind of like your classic, just ballistic missile that I just had to drive down into the earth.
You will just know not to select that on a space station because it won't penetrate the space station. And I guess that's the thing to mention. You kind of said, like this is the guys from Infinity War were talking about how this map, the central lane certainly is likely
Here's the claw, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's good shout. But it's likely to be dominated by snipers. Obviously, we didn't know that before we played the game. So you get into a situation where obviously we are just tentatively trying out the rigs for the first time, and like the various there's tons of different combinations of payloads and traits that you can have. And you might have one set up for a particular maps, and we just don't know any of that. So this, so we're coming off here very generalist.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm not used to getting score streaks really, anyway. So I was like, oh, I've got something. How does this work? This is
a present for me.
But they said it's an interesting, an interesting thing. You can't fail to notice that Infinite Warfare is set in the future, and a lot of it in space and stuff. And they said one of the things they've had to work out is their weapons and score streaks, in particular they were talking about, have to be able to work both in and out of atmosphere. So that needs to make sense, which is kind of a cool thing, so you can't just have them only working on a planet and then not in space and vice versa, because that's just not going to work. So a bit of a headache that they've had to solve there, but a good one. And I personally really like this setting. Just checking the score, Nath. That's how pro I am now.
Right.
Want to know how I'm doing? Not bad.
Very slightly better than me. Yeah, mid-table. That's where we were.
Mid-table. I'll take that. I didn't experiment too much with the guns. I ran with the perk that lets you have 2 primaries instead of a primary and a secondary.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think this is like an LMG that I'm using here, which just seemed to work, and it had just did a bit more damage.
It's nice close quarters as well, isn't it? You don't really need that range that a longer barrel rifle will give you.
And I think it's the synaptic rig is the one that you see running around sometimes on all fours, a bit like a dog. Yeah. Which is like it's a robot rig, isn't it? So you're actually, I think you're not playing as a human in a suit there. You're actually playing as a robot.
Remotely controlled robot.
And that is the one they specifically picked out as being for this kind of environment, actually, which is sort of close quarters. I think you gain...
You're being chased by a grenade.
Am I?
Yeah, you had a little warning symbol. That's new as well. That I think it maybe had just exploded.
This is my personal radar that I've just popped there, by the way, which is, instead of a tactical sort of...
well, that's my black hole grenade that I put down. It was sucking me in. That's why I was trying to back up the stairs.
Yeah. Instead of... the personal radar, instead of throwing something, or like a flashbang or whatever, you just push that and then you get... a small little personal radar.
They called it soft information, didn't they? It reminds me of Destiny's radar, which it gives you kind of areas and proximity rather than pinpoint positioning. Yeah. So there you go.
I'm a big fan of soft information as a term, by the way. Just thought I'd let you know.
I know. I heard it the first time at the presentation yesterday, and I knew exactly what he meant. I thought,
I'm using that.
I'm using that.
Yeah.
That's going in a video. So there you are, Dave. I mean, you scored quite well on the points there, and you've got 2.0, and I was right below you. That was me underneath.
Yeah.
So we've done all right.
Yeah,
we've done okay.
We've done all right.
Thank you for watching. We just wanted to kind of give you a sense of what... that was probably our favourite map of the ones that we played on Infinite Warfare's multiplayer. We do have a couple more videos on the channel. We have a breakdown of all the information about how the rigs and the weapon crafting works. And we also have a look at Terminal, because that was Dave's favourite map in Modern Warfare 2. So stick around, keep watching, and subscribe to the channel.